Hello everyone, I'm your mentor Devanshu and I welcome you all to the Economics and Social Issues session on EduTap. So my dear friends, all of you are requested, if I'm audible and visible to you, kindly give a thumbs up in the comment section below so that we can begin this particular session. So all of you are requested to give a thumbs up in the comment section below so that we can begin this particular session. So I hope that I am audible and visible to all of you as I am looking here that the session has got started. So my dear friends, once again a warm welcome to all of you in the today's economics and social issues session on EduTap. And I hope you all are preparing well for your upcoming exam. And when we talk about the upcoming exam, my dear friends, the NABARD Grade A exam is very near. And when we talk about the NABARD Grade A exam, then current affairs plays a really very important part in the NABARD Grade A exam. And PIB news are the very important source of current affairs for these particular exams. And that's why I am back with a very interesting session for all of you in which we are going to discuss the top PIB news from 8th to 10th of September 2021. So before starting the session, if you are new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And you can also join our Telegram channel to get the access to the PDF of the lectures. To join the Telegram channel, kindly click on the link given in the description below. So my dear friends, I am glad to announce that we are running the spin the wheel offer in which we will be providing up to 40% off on our courses, whether it is for the RBI, whether it is for the NABARD or SEBI, or it can also be the ICAR and some other courses which are being provided by us. So my dear friends, whenever you are purchasing the course, kindly spin the wheel and there you can avail the discount of 40%, up to 40% off on our courses. And my dear friends, please mark the date here that this particular thing is only available till 12th of September 2021. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And now let us move on to the session. So let's get started. So my dear friends, if we talk about the topic of the discussion in today's session, then today we are going to discuss the very important topic, that is MABHI Digital 3.0 campaign. So now let's move on to the topic. Let's get started. So MABHI Digital 3.0 campaign was recently launched together by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in association with the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So these two ministries have together launched the MABHI Digital 3.0 campaign. So if we talk about this particular campaign, my dear friends, under this particular campaign, the digital payment aggregators are going to provide handhold support to the street vendors to bring about enhanced adoption of digital transactions. As the name suggests, MABHI Digital 3.0, in which they will be adopting the digital transactions, and it will also lead to a behavior change among these street vendors. And that's why if we talk about this MABHI Digital 3.0 campaign, it is a special campaign for the digital onboarding and the training for these street vendors. And if we talk about this particular campaign, it has been launched under the PM Swanidhi scheme. So my dear friends, this is really a very important campaign which has been launched for the street vendors in order to once again to promote the digital transactions. And this particular thing have been launched under the PM Swanidhi scheme, and that's why, as this scheme is recently in news, so you are required to cover this particular scheme also in very much detailed manner. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And now let's discuss this particular thing in much more detail. So guys, if we talk about this particular campaign, under this campaign, the participating entities are BharatPe, mSwipe, PhonePe, Paytm and Aceware. So all of these entities are going to issue the UPI IDs, the QR codes, and also they are also going to provide the digital training to the street vendors so that they can adopt these digital transactions, and this will also promote the digital transactions all over India. So my dear friends, I want to add here that this particular campaign has been launched by these two ministries in 223 cities across India. And if we talk about the key data which you are required to remember from this particular news, the key data under this are 45.5 lakh of the applications have been received until now, and guys, out of these 45.5 lakh, 27.2 lakh loans have been sanctioned and 24.6 lakh loans have been dispersed. And if we talk about the amount dispersed, then so far 2,444 crore rupees have been dispersed to street vendors under this particular scheme. And my dear friends, about 70,448 street vendors have repaid their first loan tranche. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And I want to add here that out of 22.41 lakh digital onboarded street vendors, 7.24 lakh street vendors are digitally active. And my dear friends, these digital vendors have together recorded 5.92 crore number of digital transactions. So my dear friends, this point is also very much important for all of you. So if we talk about the key data points that you are required to remember, the number of applications which have been received till now, and also the amount which have been disbursed till now. And apart from that, out of 22.41 lakh digitally onboarded street vendors, you are required to remember that 7.24 lakh street vendors are digitally active, and these vendors have together recorded 5.92 crore digital transactions. So I hope that this thing is very much clear to all of you. And my dear friends, if we talk about, now you must be thinking that what are the payment aggregators? As we have discussed, that payment aggregators are going to provide handhold support to these street vendors and they will also going to provide them the efficient training, the required training in order to adopt these digital transactions. So for that, guys, if we talk about the payment aggregators, these are those service providers through which the e-commerce merchants can process their payment transactions. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And now we will be discussing the PM Swanidhi scheme. As we know that this scheme was recently in the news in this particular campaign, as this campaign has been launched under this particular scheme only. So that's why you are required to cover this particular scheme very comprehensively, because there is more chance that a question can be asked from this campaign as well as from this particular scheme. So guys, if we talk about the PM Swanidhi, it stands for Pradhan Mantri Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi. And my dear friends, this was a centrally sponsored scheme, and this scheme was launched by the Government of India on 1st of June 2020. And under this particular scheme, the street vendors will be provided with the affordable working capital loan, and this loan will be up to 10,000 rupees. So my dear friends, see, these values are really very much important, and on these lines only the questions have been asked in the past year exams as well. So that's why we are discussing these values, which are really very important from the exam point of view. So my dear friends, if we talk about this particular loan will be provided to the street vendors with the interest subsidy of rupees at the rate 7% per annum on the timely repayment of the loan. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And apart from that, if we talk about the target of this particular scheme, this scheme targets to cover 50 lakh street vendors who had been vending on or before March 24, 2020. So my dear friends, please mark star here, as this date is also very important from the exam point of view. And apart from that, you can also see some other salient features of this particular scheme. And my dear friends, I want to add here that to take these particular loans, no collateral is required. So my dear friends, this is also very important point to be noted down here, that street vendors are not required to provide any collateral to the lending authorities. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And there is one more additional information, that the street vendors also stands a chance to avail a loan of rupees 20,000 and rupees 50,000 under this particular scheme in the second and third tranches respectively. So my dear friends, as we have seen that in the very first tranche they can avail the loan of up to rupees 10,000, and they can also stand a chance to get a loan of rupees 20,000 in the second tranche and rupees 50,000 in the third tranche, and this will be only on the timely repayment of the loan. And now comes the very important part from this particular scheme, that is the implementation agency. So my dear friends, please tell me in the comment section below that which is the implementation agency under this particular scheme, that is which body is going to implement this particular scheme. Please tell me in the comment section below. I am waiting for responses in the comment section below. Please tell me that which organization is responsible and have been stated as the implementing body of this particular scheme. Whether it is Reserve Bank of India, whether it is SEBI, whether it is PFRDA, or it is a NABARD, or it is SIDBI. So please tell me in the comment section below that which body is the implementing body of this particular scheme. And my dear friends, the right answer to this particular question is SIDBI. So Harkamal Singh has answered the question correctly, that SIDBI is the implementing agency, implementing body of this particular scheme. And Arpita Pandey has also answered the question correctly along with the Bishwanath Nayak. So a huge round of applause for all of you, as see, this kind of thing are really very important point whenever you are required to cover these kinds of schemes. And my dear friends, that's why these points are really very much important, and you are required to remember these points, because on these points only the questions are always being asked in the exam. That's why we are also covering these things on the same lines only. So Rahul Kumar and Nilesh Suryavanshi has also answered the question correctly. So I hope that this particular scheme as well as this news is very much clear to all of you. And if we talk about the key takeaways, then my dear friend, the key takeaways can be the two ministries which have together launched this particular campaign, and this campaign has been launched under the PM Swanidhi scheme. And you are also required to remember about the PM Swanidhi scheme, which is once again a very important thing to cover, keeping in mind the NABARD Grade A exam. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And now, my dear friends, this is the time for testing. And here in this particular session, we will be analyzing that whether you have gathered all the key takeaways from this particular session or not. So now let us move on to the very first question, and all of you are required to tell me in the comment section below that what is the right answer of this particular question. So here the first question is on your screen. First question says, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in collaboration with Dash has launched the pilot drive Maybe Digital 3.0, which is a special campaign for the digital onboarding and training for street vendors under the PM Swanidhi scheme. So as we have already discussed in the today's session, that this Maybe Digital 3.0 campaign has been launched by the Government of India, and two ministries have together launched this campaign in order to digital onboard and train the street vendors under the PM Swanidhi scheme. So I am getting the responses from all of you, and I'm really glad that to see all of you are participating in this particular session. And Shubham, Sikku, Nilesh, Rahul, Bishwanath and Just Vlogging have answered the question correctly. The right answer to this particular question is option A, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So my dear friends, I want to add here that the name of these ministries is really very much important, and also that under which scheme this particular campaign has been launched by these two ministries is also once again very important. And now let's move on to the next question of the today's session, and the next question is here on your screen. So my dear friends, now the next question is on the basis of the scheme only. Okay, as we have discussed the two things, first one is the campaign, second one was the scheme. So now the question says the PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi was launched on 1st June 2020 as a central sector scheme. So now you are required to tell me in the comment section below that which one of the following statement is incorrect as per the PM Swanidhi scheme. And my dear friends, I think I have committed some mistake here. I have told you when I was discussing the scheme that it is a centrally sponsored scheme, I correct myself. This particular scheme is a central sector scheme. So sorry for this. Now all of you are required to tell me in the comment section below that which statement is incorrect as per the PM Swanidhi scheme. So here the statements are that this scheme facilitates affordable working capital loan up to rupees 10,000 with an interest subsidy of 8% on regular payment. On regular repayment, the second statement says the street vendors are not required to pay any collateral for the loan. The scheme targets to cover 50 lakh street vendors who had been vending on or before March 24, 2020. And the option D says the street vendors also stands a chance to avail the loan of rupees 10,000 and 50,000 in the second and third tranches respectively on timely repayment of the loan. So my dear friends, please tell me the answer in the comment section below that which one of the following statements are incorrect as per this particular scheme. So Harkamal is saying that is it centrally sponsored or centrally sector? So Harkamal, this is a central sector scheme. Once again note down that PM Swanidhi is a central sector scheme. So I am getting the responses, and Rahul Kumar, Vishal, Nilesh, and everybody has answered the question correctly. The right answer to this particular question is option E, that is both A and D. So my dear friends, I am not able to just dictate all the name of all of you, so please don't mind that thing. And if we talk about that what exactly is incorrect in these two statements, that is the answer that is both A and D, that what are the two things that are incorrect which have been mentioned in this particular statements. Guys, this thing is that as the option number A says, the scheme facilitates affordable working capital loan of up to rupees 10,000 with an interest subsidy of 8% on the regular repayment. So if you talk about the incorrect part in this particular question, in this particular statement, it is 8%, as we have discussed in the today's session that this particular thing is 7% only. So my dear friends, I hope that this is very much clear. And if you talk about the option D, that what exactly is incorrect in the option number D, it is, as it says, the street vendors also stands a chance to avail a loan of 10,000 and 50,000 in the second and third tranches. And as we have discussed that this particular value is rupees 20,000 and not the 10,000. So this is the reason that these two options were incorrect, and that's why option E is the right answer of this particular question. So I hope that this is very much clear to all of you. And my dear friends, today I am having a surprise test for all of you in which we will be discussing some questions from the previous sessions, so that if you have in case not seen the previous sessions, then you can revise them, and if anybody has just seen them, then it will be a revision for all of them. So my dear friends, now let's move on to the very first question. And please keep in mind that this is for the analysis, that whether you remember all these important questions from the previous sessions or not. So very first question is here on your screen. The first question is about e-rupee, and it says recently in August 2021, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has launched the digital payment solution e-rupee. So you are required to tell me that which one of the following statement is not correct as per e-rupee. So my dear friends, please tell me in the comment section below that which statement is not correct as per e-rupee. And the option A says that it is a person and purpose specific digital payment solution. Option B says that it is a cashless and contactless instrument for the digital payment which requires the use of internet banking, card and banking app. The option C says it will ensure the money is being used for the purpose for which any help or any benefit is being provided. So my dear friends, see, this e-rupee was recently launched by the government of India, and this is really a very important initiative to be remembered, keeping in mind the NABARD Grade A exam. And that's why I have handpicked these questions for all of you for this surprise test only. And I am getting the response, and Abhinav, Nilesh, Harshita, Harkamal, Shubham and Bishwanath have answered the question correctly. The right answer is option B. So what is wrong about this particular question, my dear friends? The wrong part in this particular statement is that it says it requires the use of internet banking, card and banking app. But as per the e-rupee platform, we are not required these particular services, as under this only a string of SMS or QR code is required, and we can also use this from the feature phone also. So that's why the option B is incorrect and the right answer is option B. So my dear friends, I hope that this is very much clear to all of you, and Bishwanath has really found the incorrect part, and a huge round of applause for Bishwanath. So my dear friends, now let us move on to the next question of the today's session, and it is here on your screen. So please tell me that on the advice of the Niti Aayog, an external evaluation of the National AIDS Control Program was conducted in 2020, which found that program has done a commendable job and performed very well. So you are required to tell me in the comment section below that which one of the following statement is not correct as per the National AIDS Control Program. So my dear friends, please answer the question in the comment section below that which one of the following statement is incorrect as per the National AIDS Control Program. So the first statement says that it was launched in 1992 and implemented as a comprehensive program for the prevention and control of HIV/AIDS in India. And in 1992, the government has launched the first NACPI with an ID credit of USD 84 million. And my dear friends, if you talk about the option C, it says that in November 1999, the second NACP was launched, and the option D says that the third phase of this particular program was launched in July 2007 with the goal of halting and reversing the epidemic by the end of the project period. So all of you are requested to tell me in the comment section below that which statement is not correct. So I am getting the right answers, and Gopi Krishna, Arindam, Nilesh, Bishwanath, Abhinav and Shubham have answered the question correctly. And my dear friends, the right answer is option E, that is all the above statements are correct. And my dear friends, all of you are required to remember these facts about this program because this was recently in the news, and that's why it becomes important for the NABARD Grade A exam. So my dear friends, I hope that this is very much clear, and now let's move on to the next question of the today's session, and it is here on your screen. So please tell me in the comment section below, you are required to tell me the name of the portal which was recently launched by the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. And this portal is going to provide free access to the information on all custom procedures and regulatory compliance for nearly 12,000 custom tariff trans items. So my dear friends, all of you are requested to tell me the answer in the comment section below that what is the name of this particular portal which was launched by the CBIC in August 2021, and the options are Daksh Portal, Custompedia, Business Sathi, Compliance Information Portal and Customs Mitra. So I am getting the right answers from the people here, and Nilesh has answered this particular question correctly. The right answer to this particular question is Compliance Information Portal. And Harkamal and Pradanya, Pradanya, the right answer is not option C, it is option D, that is Compliance Information Portal. So my dear friends, please mark here that these kind of portals, the campaigns, the programs, the schemes are really very much important from the exam point of view, and that's why every portal, every program, every scheme, every campaign which have been launched in last 3 to 4 months are really very much important, keeping in mind the NABARD Grade A exam. So I hope that this point is very much clear to all of you. And now let's move on to the next question of the today's session. And the next question here is, recently, August 2021, Commerce Ministry has released the details of RODTEP scheme to help exporters stay competitive and increase exports. And you are required to tell me in the comment section below that which one of the following statement is incorrect as per the above mentioned scheme. So my dear friends, once again, the details and the rates of this RODTEP scheme were being notified by the government of India recently, and that's why this particular scheme becomes really important for the NABARD Grade A exam. So please read out all these statements and tell me that which one of the following statement is incorrect as per the RODTEP scheme. And Nilesh is saying that all the above options are correct. Bishwanath is saying that all these options are correct. And my dear friends, the right answer to this particular question is option E, that is all of the above are correct. So once again we can revise this particular scheme, and my dear friends, under this particular scheme, this scheme has been launched to reimburse the central, state and local taxes which are not refunded under any other scheme to the exporters, and that's why the Indian exporters were waiting for so long for this particular scheme. And if you talk about the effectiveness of this particular scheme, this scheme will came into effect on 1st of January 2021, and this scheme with a budget of 12,454 crore for the fiscal year 2022 will be available for the 8,555 export items. And my dear friends, these points are really very much important from the exam point of view, that the effectiveness date of this particular scheme, what is the budgetary allocation, how many products, how many export items will be eligible to get these particular facilities under this particular scheme. So these things are really very much important from the exam point of view. And we have also discussed here that what are the different sectors whose products are really eligible to get the benefits of this particular scheme. So I hope that this thing is very much clear to all of you. And now let's move on to the next question of the today's session. And the next question here is, recently, August 2021, which one of the following ministries has launched an online portal TAPAS, which stands for Training for Augmenting Productivity and Services, developed by the National Institute of Social Defense? So my dear friends, you are required to tell me in the comment section below that which ministry has launched this portal TAPAS. See, this particular portal was developed by the National Institute of Social Defense, and the options here are Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, and the Ministry of Education. So please tell me in the comment section below that which ministry has launched this particular portal, and the right answer to this particular question is option A, that is Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So once again, Nilesh and Bishwanath and Shubham have answered the questions correctly. And my dear friends, seriously a huge round of applause for all of you who have answered these questions correctly. And this says that you are really working hard and preparing well for your NABARD Grade A prelims exam. And keep this up, keep your josh high, and you are going to hit the bull's eye. So my dear friends, that was all from the today's session. If you have liked the session, please give a thumbs up in the comment section below. And if you have any queries, you can drop us a mail at hello@edutap.co.in, and you can also call us at 814-620-7241. So my dear friends, now I will be meeting you in the next session. I hope you have enjoyed the session and this session was useful and fruitful to all of you. So before moving on, I would like to wish you all a happy learning.